So, I wanted to make a video to talk about insecurity. Specifically, I wanted to talk about 3 things I've been really insecure about. Because, like going after what you care about, accomplishing a challenging goal, whatever that is, it's really hard. And if anyone else is out there trying to do something similar, and I know there are, this video is for you. It's also for my friends and family and anyone else who might be following what I'm doing here with my music or rooting for me, just to connect with you guys and thank you and let you know what's up. So, a little setup to help you understand a little bit more about why I'm making a video about insecurity. The last 7 to 8 weeks, starting this thing up, it's definitely not gone how I thought it was gonna go. This is not my first rodeo as a musician. I've been out of it now since at least 2008 or 9, not counting a couple of shows that I did around 2014. And I won't go into like why I stopped playing music because it's like a whole other video, and it's honestly probably not that interesting. Just the usual reasons why people don't go after stuff that they want. And anyway, I officially picked this back up like less than 2 months ago or so. It's January right now, beginning of January 2021. After a layoff at work, at a job I'd held for a really long time. And once the layoff happened that same day, I literally stood up from my desk and I just like wiped all the snot and tears off of my face and started cleaning and rearranging my office. And with my husband's help, have slowly turned this into a little baby studio. Just you see in the kind of, it doesn't look like much, but anyway, so I did that. And then in the next few days or week or two, I had all of these plans and this vision of what I'd accomplish over the next few weeks. I was super fired up, like super motivated. I still am. But in those moments, it was like, I'm going to do this. It's going to look like this, and it's going to be this way, and I'm going to move so fast. And I'm thinking that way largely because I need money. Like, I got a haul here. But also because I just felt like, like I can do this. Like, I know I can make a living at this. I've done crazier shit before. So I have had all these goals to post videos and stream and all that stuff. But in the 7 or 8 weeks since that moment, I definitely have not met the original goals that I had. I have not streamed as much as I thought I would have streamed. I haven't posted as much as I thought I would have, not on YouTube or Instagram or anything like that. I haven't recorded and published as many songs yet as I thought I would have by now, which for me to have believed I'd have had so much more done by now in barely 2 months doing all this work by myself is crazy. For like 10 days straight over the holidays when my daughter was at her dad's, I was at my computer for like seriously like 8+ hours a day, learning Logic Pro, learning everything I could possibly learn about home recording. I feel like I learned as much about this stuff and got about as much practice in with it as I might have had in like weeks of a college music production course. And I'm still just here like, oh, Mel, you didn't do for the whole week, because that's just how I talk to myself, because like it doesn't matter. Like if I do things, it doesn't matter. It's stupid. But anyway, the posting videos and the streaming and stuff like that, I look back at the last 7 or 8 weeks and I feel like I could have done at least a little bit more of that. But like 60 to 70% of why I haven't done more yet is absolutely due to insecurity. And the other 30 to 40% is because my time turner doesn't work. I gotta go. So why make a video? because I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. And if you're going through something similar, I want you to know that you are also not alone. I also want to stay connected with the people in my life and community who are following me, and the people who hopefully will one day, hopefully. But mostly, I just know that if you're holding yourself back from doing something that's really important to you or really difficult, or you're feeling like you're trying and you're failing, you're not alone in those feelings. So I can handle the alone feelings, and I'll get more into like why. For better or worse, like I can handle them. But I guess what's harder for me is just like knowing that there are others out there who are feeling the same way that I'm feeling, and I could do something about it, but I'm not. But I could just by posting a video. um, but also, like I've told several others, told myself, and I've told a lot of people that I was going to post more. And you know what? If I'm not going to post a song video or something, I'm also just not gonna like, sit here like, ugh, I have nothing to share when I have like plenty of non-music stuff that at least one person out there might care about, like Jack. Hi, Jack. Yeah, I don't know a Jack, but if your name is Jack, I guess we can just be friends now. We're friends now. Cool. Okay, I actually want this video to be helpful, so I'm gonna do my best to keep it organized and focused and get into the 3 things I've been most insecure about lately. So the first thing, just putting myself out there as a person, not just my music, but my face and my name and everything else is so hard. Especially if you're someone like me who's really terrified of coming off like I'm attention seeking in an unhealthy way. Not to judge the reasons why anybody would want or need attention. I'm just talking about me in particular. And there's a reason that I'm insecure about that. Because obviously, like I'm attention seeking here. Like there's literally no way around it. Practically speaking, I need your attention. I am seeking it because if you're someone who would like my music, I want you to hear it and enjoy it. And that's not something that will happen if I don't seek and get your attention. But I'm just totally afraid of being judged as attention seeking. And like I said, there's a reason for that. I actually used to be way more open online. I shared like everything. I was a live journal kid, 100%. I used to post on my personal Facebook page multiple times a day. I had a Tumblr. This was all like many years ago, and I think a few things happened. I think one, there was a person in my life who meant a lot to me, who was also really critical of how open I was online, and they made me feel like being so emotionally open online was a sign of weakness or an inability to deal with my feelings and experiences alone, and that not being able to do things alone was a sign of weakness, and that it was pathetic, which is how this person also dealt with problems and issues in their life. And because of the rank that this person held in my life at the time, their criticism, it was like they were beating me in the shins with a bat. And with those broken shins, it was like they knocked me down many pegs. And it hurt a lot, and I felt stupid. And so I was like, you're right. And I deleted my Tumblr and eventually my personal Instagram and sort of just went off with this belief that strong, emotionally intelligent people are also private people who don't need to share their every thought with the world. There's definitely like a facet of that that I still find holds some truth. I do think there has to be balance. Like it's really important to be able to sit with your feelings and experiences on your own, to feel safe with them and to process them. I think it was just the way that it all went down. Like I didn't stop sharing my life online or keeping a journal or anything like that, because I genuinely was having this maturation and wanted to practice managing my emotions privately because I felt empowered to do so. It was because I felt ashamed and embarrassed. Regardless, I worked really hard for a long time to feel comfortable closing myself off and not just sharing everything that happened in my life or in my day or in my mind all the time, everywhere, with everyone. And over time, that restraint became something that I valued about myself. So, this broadcasting to me almost feels like going backwards, like when it isn't. It's not going backwards. It feels like going backwards because a long time ago, someone made me feel really bad and ashamed for sharing myself online, and made me feel like it meant something was wrong with me, like that I was needy or narcissistic or something. And that's a big part of the insecurity that I'm dealing with. Just worrying that sharing my life and talking into a camera alone in a room by myself, which already feels really weird if you're not used to it, makes me a certain kind of person I felt ashamed of being. And I don't want anyone to see me as someone who thinks that I'm entitled to anything, much less anyone's attention. So I find excuses to not create or post content today. And I tell myself I don't have anything good enough to share yet, and that anything less than good enough is going to just embarrass me. And none of that is true. Not for me and not for you. What you and I have to offer the world matters right now. It matters today. We're the only ones who have it to offer. And we shouldn't feel like we need to change it or change ourselves. Then it just defeats the purpose of us being the only ones who can offer the world this specific thing. I might keep holding back. I'm not going to say I'm not going to hold back anymore, because I probably will, and that's okay. But hopefully a little less. I don't need to hold back as much as I do. And you don't either, Jack. You don't need to. Second thing, the other part of this insecurity piece, now that I'm here trying to build a music job, career, now that I'm here, I'm suddenly falling into this trap of like, but I'm not good enough. I'm gonna embarrass myself. Like just recently, I was making a list of songs that I could cover when I streamed, because the last time I streamed, I'd gotten some cover requests and I kind of just like blew them, at least in my opinion. And I'm making this list. I'm putting it in. I was making this list, putting it in like a 2-column table. And in the left column, I have my own songs that I can play. And in the right column are all the cover songs. And I'm thinking, I'll pick these cover songs because they're good and pretty popular and people will want to stick around for them. And now I'm seeing those songs like side by side. Like on the left, there's my songs, and then on the right are the cover songs. And in my head, the songs are playing, and I'm noticing like key differences between the two of them, like not differences in music key, like key differences in them. And I'm thinking, oh my God, like my songs are not nearly as good as the ones I want to cover. Like, no fucking dumb, Mel. Anyone who thinks their own songs are as good as or better than like Neil Young's or Conor Oberst's or whatever, they need an ego check. So I think it's pretty normal that I don't think that they're as good as those. But they're just fundamentally different. And I'm thinking they're fundamentally different in not good ways. Like, all of these songs from established artists have certain things in common, from like chord structures to the amount of lyrics squeezed into a verse or their level of simplicity, and just a lot of different things in common. And mine don't have those things. So I must be doing something fundamentally wrong. And all this time, writing those songs, I'm like, that's okay because I'm doing something different. I'm doing it my way. And I'm like, people are gonna like that, right? But now that I'm here and I'm actually sending all this stuff out into the world, I'm like well, wait, what if there's a reason they like all these other songs? And that reason is all the things those songs have in common, the things my songs don't have. And so my songs are going to be really annoying. I think they're too bubbly or they're too amateurish. I didn't feel that way a month or two ago, but I feel that way now. And in the same vein, I find myself not doing things I know I need to be doing, like streaming. I need to stream more. I want to stream more because I'm like, well, I need to be sure I can set the mic up right so it'll sound like I know what I'm doing. So, a perfect example, a few days ago, I planned on streaming on Reddit, and I swear to God, I spent way, way longer than I needed to trying to set up everything from the mic placement to camera placement, like being really picky about stupid things, like seriously, like not wanting my hands to be visible on camera because I thought maybe people would connect better with me if they saw more of my face and less of my hands. Those are the stupid things that hold me back, like super small things. This awareness that things as small as the wrong camera angle can make it so that people don't stick around on your stream for long. And I know that there's truth to some of that. Like, I mean, I've worked in marketing for years, so I know presentation matters, but starting and doing matters more, like a lot more. Another example, I haven't posted a song video in a while because my subscription to Adobe Premiere Pro, which I used to edit video with, has lapsed because it's my husband's that he gets through the school he teaches at, and between semesters it like lapses sometimes. And the thing is, it's like if I really, really wanted this, if I wasn't so scared of it, then I probably would have just used iMovie or something already to edit and post one. And I thought of it doing that, like I thought of just using iMovie. But I was like, oh, I can't because iMovie doesn't have the same color filter as Premiere. And then my videos are going to be inconsistent and I'll look unprofessional and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, just do ML. Like, no one gives a shit about the consistency of the colors between your videos. Get over it. And then, like, just talking about streaming reminds me of something else. Like, I just think that women in particular who have a hard time doing things for themselves, and I don't mean like doing things for themselves. I mean like doing things for themselves. I'm one of those types of people. I know this is like really crosses all genders. Like the conversation I'm most familiar with is, just mothering. Like we tend to just like not do things for ourselves. And so like before I stream or before I make a video, I feel like I need to make myself look really nice, like put on makeup and all that, which is just something I'm not used to doing anymore, especially since I've been working from home for so many years. And I mean, I like makeup, like I have nothing against it. I use it, I enjoy it, but I'm just really, really not used to it being a ritual in my life anymore. So when I'm in the mirror doing my makeup, there's a voice in me that's just like, who do you think you are putting on makeup, Mel? I mean, it's really crazy, but there's 100% that voice in there. It tells me all the time that like if I feel too good about myself and if I'm spending too much time making myself feel nice looking or something, that must mean I'm dropping the ball in another area of my life that matters. Like the 15 minutes that I spent putting on makeup was 15 minutes I didn't spend cleaning up the kitchen to make my husband's life easier or show him that I care or that I want to help or to show my daughter how to respect her home and her things. This is all super toxic thinking, and I've got to work on it. But I'm just saying it because I know that I'm not alone with that, and feeling like I don't want to get ready to shoot a video, or I shouldn't be making myself look nice right now, or getting ready to record myself right now when there's XYZ other things that I should be doing for my kid or family, or yada yada, whatever else. It holds me back, and I know that maybe it holds you back too, Jack, especially since you absolutely have people in your life, Jack, like me, who love you and think that you're doing absolutely enough. Probably they think you're doing even more than enough, and you deserve to take a little time for yourself. Number 3, the third part of the whole insecurity thing, perfectionism, and I definitely have like a sort of a soapbox on this one. So with perfectionism, like that's totally a global thing. I think most people will get it or empathize with it on some level. And perfectionism is such a tricky thing because with perfectionism, you don't feel like you're holding yourself back, you're 100% just definitely not lazy, you know what you're doing, you know what you need to do to succeed, and because of all of that, oh, so ironically, you were not writing or posting content or sharing your stuff or connecting with people. And that's because perfectionists inherently don't believe they're good enough to do the thing. We're hypercritical of ourselves. We're terrified of failure and embarrassment, more so than most. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. It's scary. But perfectionism is also a self-fulfilling prophecy. So listen to this. So you're afraid of failure. And one type of failure is being wrong. You're afraid of failure, and in fact, you're honestly pretty confident that if you go after the thing, you'll fail at it. And since being wrong is a type of failure, you also don't want to be wrong. You can't handle being wrong. I can't handle being wrong. So we create this kind of snake eating its own tail situation. All of this happens under the psychological radar, okay? I've had a shitload of therapy, so I've worked this out, so just bear with me. The fear of failure is really hard. That's a sad feeling. It's a sad feeling that we can't do this, and that's really hard. And perfectionists, we avoid those feelings by spending a ton of time educating ourselves, reading a lot, practicing a lot, effectively replacing the doing, where we just open the door to failure and embarrassment, with the preparing to do. And no one can argue that learning and practicing are important parts of the doing and the succeeding, because they are. You can't argue with that. I can't. But all of that preparing to execute your plan good enough, that keeps you in a really, really safe space. No one can reject you or criticize you if you're just preparing or practicing, and you can't fail at preparing and practicing. But you practice and prepare so much that you never really do the thing or go, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You did fail. You didn't do it. You weren't doing it. You were right about being a failure. And feeling right is so much easier than feeling scared. Feeling right is confidence boosting. It's weird, right? But yeah, that's not going to work. We can't let perfectionism hold us back. We have to face that scary feeling. We have to go there inside our minds and listen to that mean voice that's saying, they're going to make fun of you. You're going to look stupid if you don't get this right. Let it say its piece. Feel the fear. Be there with it. It's the only way to learn that fear won't hurt you, because you can't just make it go away. It won't. Feelings demand to be felt. So feel it, be scared, don't battle with it or try to talk to yourself down. Just face it and see that it actually isn't going to hurt you. It's not going to cuff you and hold you down. That fear is just a voice inside you. It's probably the voice of someone else in your life who said mean things to you a really long time ago, or maybe didn't say things that you needed to hear that they should have said. And that's all. It's an echo. And you can't just force it away or ignore it. It's there, but it's okay. Just let it do its thing, and you do yours and keep going. It'll get better. So, all of that said, perfectionism gets in my way really badly. It makes it take me forever to share a video, including this one, which I'm already criticizing for being too long and rambling. I doubt anyone's going to watch it all the way through, and that's totally fine. I can handle that. I know it's too long. Perfectionism absolutely makes it take me forever to write and share a song. And lately, it's gotten in the way of me being able to finish recording a song. So that's something I'm working through. And your attention and patience and confidence in me. I'm speaking to anyone who is watching this who maybe already knows me or maybe is just curious about me. All of that is really helpful and really healing, and I appreciate it. And if you are still watching at this point, Jack, please leave a comment containing the phrase nacho plate. So those are 3 main reasons I have not been as active yet on these platforms as I expected to be, and why I haven't been streaming as much as I thought I would be at this point. So anyway, to wrap up, I'm not sharing this to make excuses. It is an excuse, but that's not why I'm sharing it. I just want to do. I want to do. and make and share. And make sure that if anyone needs this particular voice today, it's here for them. So I make no promises here about my channel or about my work in general, other than to tell you that the insecurity is real, but it's okay. And I'm going to slowly ramp up posting content and songs and streaming, even if sometimes I think it all sucks, because I know that that's just me and I know that that feeling is temporary. In the end, it's not all about me anyway. It's about you too. And I have to remember that through the years, I have learned that the people who support my music are happy with what's here on any given day. They're here and they're happy with what I can offer right now. And I think they've been happy with it in the past. I hope. If not, I've known a lot of really good liars. And yeah, I know that you don't expect from me half as much as what I expect of myself. And I know that in the eyes of the people who matter the most, like from what I've been told anyway, I've probably exceeded those expectations somehow, which is a very sweet thought. And the same is true for you who are still watching this, that if you worry a lot about not being good enough, just know that that's not true, and that you have probably very, very, very likely exceeded the expectations of the people who matter. So keep at it, and don't slow yourself down because you're afraid of whatever it is that you're going to put out there not being good enough, whatever that thing might be. So thank you for being there for me in the past and today and in the future, and I'll spend as long as I can being here for you too.